The second movie I picked up from the recent Indicator sale. I just bought two because I wanted to make sure that I was going to watch what I bought, and financial reasons as well. And I was kind of torn about the second movie. I ultimately went for Dragonwyck because I heard it was going out of print, and I was just, I wanted it in my collection before it disappeared. It's the collector mentality. But I'm so glad I picked it up. I knew nothing about it going into it, and just even looking at the front of it and seeing the amount of talent that is in this one is truly unbelievable. You get Gene Tierney, you have Walter Huston, Vincent Price, Glenn Lanigan, and it's written and directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz and produced by Ernst Lubitsch. That is music to my ears. Just that whole production team, the cast, the crew is simply fantastic, and I was really kind of curious about delving into this movie. And it all kind of settles around the character of Miranda, played by Gene Tierney. This kind of girl that lives on the farm with her father and that, who has this rich relation, who sends a letter out to them saying that he's looking for someone to look after his kid. And after much cajoling, she's eventually allowed to go, and she goes to meet her cousin Nicholas, and it's played by Vincent Price in a very early role that almost kind of threw me sideways, because I don't think I've ever seen him as young as this, and it was a wonderful role for the character. And he is a rich patroon, which is basically someone that's a landowner that owns all these farms. He allows people to farm the land, and he gets basically rent and crops from them for doing that. And he owns this very large mansion called Dragonwyck. He's going to take Miranda and allow her to look after his kid. And when we get there, you get all kind of ideas that this is going to be like a gothic horror, but it's more of a melodrama. It plays out. There is some suspenseful sequences, and there is moments of kind of supernatural-ish horror, but that's not the driving force behind this. What we get is this character of Nicholas, who is this uppity, entitled, rich person who really doesn't see people for their worth, only sees them for what he can get from them, what they deliver to him, and is ultimately one of these really horrible, twisted characters. And it's portrayed perfectly by Vincent Price, who at the start of the movie is charming, succinct, warm, embracing, and slowly throughout the movie starts to lose that sheen, that edge, becoming a more manipulative and horrible person throughout the movie. And I don't know if another actor could have done this as much justice as what Price does, because he really does layer it up with a little bit of sincerity within his good moments and within his bad moments as well, and a good chunk of melancholy and kind of self-loathing as well. All he wants throughout the movie is an heir. He wants his family lineage to continue. And what we have is Melanie kind of stuck in a situation with this family, along with the farmers and a local doctor who takes an interest in her, and how she is coping and dealing with all of this round about her. How it's the big wide world that she wanted to experience, and it's almost everything she wanted. But the seedy underbelly and the machinations of all these characters really start to seep into that character and take the shine off this rich world that she thought she was going to love. Dragonwyck, the first thing I noticed when I threw on this disc was the transfer. It looks amazing, and you get to see the way the shadows are used properly, the sets, the cast as they do their movement, the way the camera moves, the ominous feeling of this large Dragonwyck house that's there, and it just feels wonderfully warm and embracing to start off with, becoming cold and dark and destructive as the movie moves on. And this is one of those ones where I kept expecting something to happen. It kind of does eventually, but it wasn't what I was expecting to happen. There is moments where small moments where you just get an inkling to the character. The way that Vincent Price delivers a line at the dinner table where he's agreeable and being positive about something, but you can't help but feel an utter disdain in his voice for his wife as he's talking to her. Dragonwyck was wonderfully presented and a real kind of strange movie that I didn't really know what I was getting. It's most akin, I'd say, to Hitchcock's Rebecca in that kind of gothic melodrama with a slight inkling of horror mixed in there for good measure. This disc from Indicator, transfer alone was amazing. I've not went through the extras as yet, but I'm going to definitely have a quick look at them. The film itself was engrossing, captivating, and one that I really was surprised by the story and especially the way it ended. And that's why I've kept the kind of story a bit minimal. I don't want to go into a lot of the cool stuff that happens in it, a lot of the fun stuff that comes in the latter third of the movie. I'll leave that for you to discover if you haven't seen it. Have you seen Dragonwyck? Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on the movie, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.